You have picked up your phone over 80 times today. And here's the thing, you didn't decide to do that. Something else did. The apps on your phone were engineered by the highest paid behavioral scientists on the planet, and their only job was to make sure you never put your phone down. And the scariest part? The trick they use isn't new technology. It's a technique discovered in a lab in the 1930s on rats. We're going to break down exactly how this works, layer by layer. And by the end, you will never look at your social media feed the same way again. But first, there's one specific design choice buried inside every major app that's more powerful than all the others combined. Most people have never heard of it. We'll get to that. Let's start with the thing that's right in front of your face, the infinite scroll. Before 2006, every website had pages. You'd get to the bottom, you'd click next, and there was a natural pause, a moment where your brain could say, okay, I'm done. Asa Raskin, a designer at the time, got rid of that pause. He invented the infinite scroll. Content just keeps coming, endlessly, with no bottom, no stopping point, no moment where your brain gets to catch its breath. He later said publicly that he wished he hadn't done it. He estimated the invention cost the world around 200,000 hours of human attention every single day. But infinite scroll is just the delivery mechanism. The real weapon is what gets loaded into it. Here's where the rats come in. In the 1930s, psychologist B.F. Skinner ran an experiment. He put rats in a box with a lever. In one version, pressing the lever always gave food. The rats pressed it a few times, ate, and stopped. In another version, the lever gave food randomly. Sometimes yes, sometimes nothing, sometimes a big reward. Those rats became obsessed. They couldn't stop pressing the lever. They pressed it hundreds of times more than the rats who got a guaranteed reward. That pattern is called a variable reward schedule, and it is the psychological engine inside every major social media platform ever built. When you pull down to refresh your feed, you are pulling a slot machine lever. Sometimes there's a great post, sometimes there's nothing interesting, sometimes there's a viral video that makes you laugh for 30 seconds. You never know which one you're going to get. And that unpredictability, that's not an accident. That is the feature. Your brain releases dopamine not when it gets the reward, but in anticipation of the reward. The not knowing is the addictive part. The feed was designed to keep you in that state of not knowing as long as humanly possible. Now here's where it gets darker. Variable rewards explain why you keep scrolling, but they don't fully explain why you keep coming back. For that, the platforms use something called social validation loops. Every like, comment, and follower notification is a small hit of social approval, and humans are wired at a biological level to crave social approval. We evolved in small tribes, where being liked by others literally determined whether you survived. The platforms know this, so they batch your notifications. They don't send them to you in real time. They hold them, let them stack up, and then release them in a cluster so the hit feels bigger. Former Google design ethicist Tristan Harris confirmed this publicly. They are literally timing your dopamine. But wait. We still haven't gotten to the most powerful mechanism, the one that's more invisible than all of this. You've heard of an algorithm, but most people think of it as a recommendation engine, something that just shows you stuff you like. That's not what it is. The algorithm isn't optimizing for what you enjoy, it's optimizing for what keeps you engaged. And those are not the same thing. Research from MIT found that false information spreads 6 times faster on social media than true information because outrage, fear, and moral shock create more engagement than calm or happiness. The algorithm doesn't care if a post is true. It doesn't care if it makes you feel good. It cares if you stopped scrolling. That 1-second pause you give to something that made you angry, that's a signal. That post gets shown to more people. The system is literally trained on your worst emotional reactions. And here's the part that almost nobody talks about. This system learns you faster than you learn yourself. The algorithm at Facebook, now called Meta, was documented in internal research to be able to predict a user's emotional state in real time. Not their general mood, their emotional state in that specific moment. And it uses that to decide what to show you next. Feeling lonely at 11 p.m.? Here comes content that deepens that feeling, because loneliness makes people scroll more. Feeling bored? Here comes outrage content, because outrage is the most reliable engagement driver they have. The feed is not a mirror of the world. It is a personalized psychological environment, rebuilt every second, designed to keep one specific person, you, in a state where they won't stop scrolling. So here's what you can actually do with this information, because knowing it isn't enough on its own. First, turn off all non-essential notifications. You want to check apps on your terms, not theirs. When they control when you pick up your phone, they control your attention. Second, set app timers, not because willpower isn't real, but because these systems were built by teams of engineers whose only job was to defeat your willpower. You are not weak for struggling against that. You just need a different kind of lever. Third, understand that the discomfort you feel when you try to put the phone down is the variable reward schedule doing exactly what it was designed to do. Naming it takes some of its power away.
Now for the thing I promised you at the start, the single most powerful design choice buried inside every major platform, the one most people have never heard of. It's called the bottomless bowl effect, and it comes from a food psychology experiment. Researcher Brian Wansink gave people a bowl of soup, but the bowl secretly refilled itself from below. People ate 73% more than normal and reported feeling less full. The bowl never ending disrupted their internal sense of when to stop. That is the infinite scroll. That is your feed. Your brain's natural stopping signal, the equivalent of feeling full, never fires because the content never ends. You are eating from a bowl that refills itself forever, and no amount of willpower changes the fact that the bowl has no bottom. The people who built these systems are not evil, but many of them have walked away and said the same thing. We built something we didn't fully understand, and it got away from us. You deserve to know how it works, because once you see the lever, you get to decide whether you pull it. If this hit different, hit the subscribe button. There's a lot more where this came from.